So a little bit about me, first off. This also helps the non-judging. I grew up 16 miles from here in Rockville, so I am a hometown girl just in general, on a horse farm. And I grew up working from sun up till sundown, mucking stalls. So when you think about going into like high-end luxury clothing, that's not really like a, path that probably would have come, going that way. But I did go to Virginia Tech. I played volleyball there. Basically went to class with like wet hair all the time. I don't know if you guys have played sports in college, but you basically were just there to play sports. So you just had to get through class. My claim to fame was Michael Vick was in my Rocks for Docs class.
Nice.
So it was fun. Sweet. Yeah, I know. I sat next to him 4 times during the year because he only came to class 4 times during that year. But anyway, so fast forward, I moved right to Charlotte after college. That's why I have a 704 number for those that have my number. That's also shows how old I am because I didn't get a cell phone until after college. That was my own. I was there I've always been with Tom James, so I'm about to start my 22nd year. And 8 years in Charlotte, we grew that market really well. I was the first girl there, in that market, which also, helps to kind of explain a little bit about why it's important to me to dress professionally, in a market. If it's kind of male dominated or female dominated, you want to make sure that you kind of level the playing field. And then I was asked to go lead the Atlanta market. And then in 2020, my son was about to go into kindergarten, and we woke up one morning and we're like, we have no family that's a plane ride or 10 hours away. So we decided to move home. So the reason that's important is I've been in small markets, medium-sized markets, and large markets, extra large markets. Atlanta was a very large market. It's still our #1 office, which I'm very proud of, that we grew it to while I was there. So the reason I share all that is that I have a lot of experience being from the beginning where, humble beginnings, to moving into the bigger markets, but also what's appropriate in those markets and and really how it deals with your clients. Okay. So I have always, especially in real estate, this is a very interesting dynamic because you have houses that are in a certain price point, and you have houses that are in a much higher price point. It's like, how do you dress for all of those? And probably one of the most important things is to understand how your professional image will impact not only the client that you're in front of, but your own attitude, your first impressions, and then ultimately your business success that you will have. I have always said your attitude begins with how you dress in the morning. And if you guys do have kids, you can tell sometimes this will go really well or it doesn't go really well. And a lot of it can be determined on how prepared your kid is going out the door. And so why dressing matters, it's a mindset shift, where dressing can professionally create confidence for you, focus, which is interesting, and then it leads into your attitude for that. It's also an energy alignment. If you are not having a great day and you go and put on more not confident clothing, that will compound your not great day. And so if you decide to shift how you want to think, you can get up that morning and get dressed in clothing that is a little bit more of your favorites, and then it'll change your attitude, right? And I know that y'all are in real estate and I'm in making clothing, but we do the same things. We have to control our attitude and we have to get people over the buying line, right? And so that's a lot of what we do. That makes sure that we control how we're thinking. So it also, one of the things that I think is important to remember about dress is it projects authority that you have on the subject. So for example, if you show up and you're not really ready for it, or you're not really looking the part, or you're disheveled or whatever, that's how they're going to think that you're going to take care of their business as well. And that is a direct correlation. Okay. So it's also, a sign of respect for that person. So if you don't care how you show up to that appointment with that person, then they're going to think you also don't care about respecting them as well. So those are the things that are being spoken without you speaking. So you have to kind of think that through a little bit. Okay, first impression. I said this a second ago, but you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? We've all heard that cliche. Well, I like to think about it as trust is lost in buckets. This is a appropriate because it's raining today. Trust is lost. I got shake it up. Trust is lost in buckets, but earned in droplets. And so what I mean by that is you can lose something real quick, but it takes a lot to earn trust with people and over time and little pieces. So what I try to do is just have all the odds in your favor. Like, don't give people a reason to not trust you, like out the gates, right? So that's what first impressions will do. Take 7 seconds to make a first impression. Ben was immediately like, "Are you judging me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not judging you. I promise, I am not." But whether we like it or not, people are gonna think thoughts. Like they're not gonna. We want the story to be the storyline that you have in your head versus a storyline that they're making up, right? We want it to be consistent with that. Clients trust and value real estate agents who appear polished and professional, and then making sure that they dress well to make clients feel like they're in capable hands. So those are the main points there. Also, time is money. You guys know this. You're working appointment to appointment, to house to house to house. Your time is money, especially in this industry. And so preparation equals productivity. If you're ready for these appointments and if you're ready for how you're going to approach the day, you're more efficient with your time. If you have planned outfits out the day before, or I have this little thing in my closet, thanks to someone that built my RCI, that built my house. It has this little thing that comes out. I just plan the day before what I'm going to wear, or as I'm getting out of the shower, I put it together really fast and go. So I don't spend a lot of time trying to think about, okay, what's the next thing that I'm going to wear if your closet is set up properly. So that's where like the preparation and planning comes in. And it saves last minute stress. Again, for all of the parental units out there, there is a kid most of the time on your heels while you're trying to get dressed. So if you're trying to figure out how to get them dressed and you dressed, it's a complicated morning and more full of stress if you're not kind of planning ahead for that. Also, brand consistency when you're thinking through how to keep your time efficient. If you keep your kind of messaging and your sorry, I'm projecting. No. It also helps, I say this, and I'll say this a little bit later too, but brand consistency I think is important because it makes it easy for you as you're getting dressed. If like a lot of your style is kind of similar, but it's really you. So being really authentic to what it is for you. So if you don't have, that's why there is some validity like Steve Jobs where he got up and he put the same thing on every day. There was decision fatigue that went with that, but also that was who he was. That was his brand. That's what was really consistent with him. So it was simple. So I always tell people like find what is you and just do it over and over and over, right? Sometimes people want to be like unpredictable and that's their brand, and those are very, your guys kind of like that. So okay, so professional do's and don'ts. Okay, so first off, what works? Tailored works. So when Ben asked me earlier, am I judging? No, I wasn't judging. I am always looking at fit because that is where like you can tell if something is
too tight.
If you your pants are too tight. No, I'm not talking about that. It
sounds like judging to me.
It does. It also does say neither too tight or too loose in my notes. But what it says is that you put a little bit of effort into how you were getting dressed. Look, I started in this business and I had 2 suits from Macy's and I wore them every other day for like the first 6 months of my career until I could afford to buy a suit or to get a suit that was made for me. And I remember the day I got it and I was like, oh my God, because I'm kind of like an awkward giraffe and there's a very hard, I didn't even wear my heels today because it was flopping around out here. But it was a very big moment when I had stuff that actually fit my body. And so there's a lot that, confidence wise, but also just like professional wise that works. So you gotta like make it where you can, but try to find stuff that fits as best as you can. So this goes along with first time impressions. Sometimes neutral colors with a pop are always really nice. It means like I'm not too over the top, but I'm not boring. So I try to get people, especially in the beginning when they're first meeting with people, like don't walk in with like it's almost like you kind of decided what that person in the relationship was going to be like if you come in like super bold. So I try to say like, just tone it back a little bit on the first go rounds. Navies, grays, commonly mistaken that black for my ladies here is the most flattering color. Navy is actually a little bit more flattering. It goes with more stuff. It's easy. But you can put colors over top of black for sure. But as a full-on black suit, it's a little bit formal for like those occasions. But navy's a much better color for people. That's why for business, we've seen it all the time. Navies and grays are the business colors. So I try to get people to do those. Shoes matter. People will walk in and see them. So make sure that even if you can't afford the nicest stuff, just make sure it's in good condition. Don't have it be all beat up and things like that. So I know that's hard in this business because you guys are out in the field all the time. So find some good brands that are nice, but or durable. Johnston & Murphy is one of those. It's not a very expensive shoe, but it's a very nice, well-made American-made shoe that you can wear for my guys out there. And I do try to say for my ladies, inappropriate stuff is like skirts that are real short. I mean, we shouldn't do that, especially if we're getting in and out of vehicles with clients and going into houses and all of that kind of stuff. This goes back to like stack the odds in your favor. Like don't give them any reasons to like be thinking anything but what they're supposed to be thinking, which is about the house that you're trying to show them. And it also kind of undermines your professionalism in general. A little bit specifically for guys, obviously the pandemic has kind of shifted so many things right now in the clothing world, but we have seen it kind of go back to a little bit more professional. I think people are kind of tired of being at home in kind of their really casual wear. So we've seen it kind of flip back to where we're back out in sport coats and suits and blazers a little bit more. And I'm not just saying that, I'm saying that's what my clients are doing. It does help me when people decide to dress up a little bit more. But I work a lot with attorneys and bankers and they kind of started to go back. I mean, you guys saw Amazon went back full time, 5 days a week into the office. So there's a lot of these pushes back, into, which does trickle down eventually to us. So we are doing that a little bit more tailored. You guys know Dean wears a tie every day and it's cray. But that's his brand, right? Like he comes in and he's like wearing that kind of stuff. And so he likes to have that, but ties we've done, less of over time, but you still put a nice crisp shirt on with it and it works great. Belts and shoes need to match for guys, making sure that the leather is the same color. I do the same thing actually for myself too, because it seems weird to not match them. And so you'd want to make sure those, and then this is where you can show a little bit of your style. Socks and stuff usually match the pants, not necessarily the shoes. So you can, that's why you can, like there's a brand called Happy Socks. You can totally put some fun stuff on and wear different colored socks and it's not that big a deal. Okay. And then for women, I said this a little bit before too, blazers and pencil skirts or things that you can mix match separates quite a bit. Like I have a whole suit out of this, but I wear this with black pants all the time or over my black dress and I mix match it all the time, or I'll take this and put it with a black jacket. So I tend to buy in units and then flip flop them all the time. Whatever I get, then I'll flip flop them. And frankly, guys are doing that too all the time. We call them sport coat suits. So we'll take like a patterned, a little bit more of a subtle pattern suit, and then he can, wear that if he needs to have a suit, but he also has a sport coat that he can put with alternating contrasting pants that kind of mix it as well. We always try to say like have, less things, but wear them more often, have more versatility. That's kind of the name of the game, for what we do. Heels or flats for women, as well. And, making sure that they're taken care of. So the same thing there. Don't go too overboard with jewelry. That can be a distraction from, what you're doing. So either pick a scarf or pick a piece of jewelry or, pick one or the other. So you don't want to kind of go over the top on that, distracting from what you're doing. And then, capsules. Have you guys ever heard of capsules before? Most of my women have. If you guys are doing it too, and you get a sport coat and you have 2 different pants that go with the same sport coat, same idea. So we, at Tom James, we create capsules for people. That's kind of what we're uniquely qualified to do. We're not uniquely qualified to be like, sweet, here's a shirt. I'll get that. It's kind of like when you go to a designer or something and you're like, okay, I want you to redo this room. And then the designer puts all this stuff together and you're like, okay, I'll start with that pillow. And then like all of the work that they put into to try to help change that room wasn't really kind of what they were qualified to do, or like their skill set was to do. It's really to kind of do the whole room. So that's what we do as far as like clothing goes. We try to make sure that whatever we put in your closet is going to go with everything in your closet. So it's not just like a random piece in there, if that makes sense. And so capsules in general are versatile, high quality items that can be mixed matched really easily. So we'll take an anchor and anchor things around a jacket and then match a whole bunch of stuff that goes with that jacket, if that makes sense. The benefits of this is it saves time because you have actually less pieces to go through and try to decide, which includes it reduces decision fatigue. It also ensures consistency, like we talked about on your branding of your professional look and what we're best at. You know, I've found, and you guys probably know this, like your clients are, you know, we work with, you know, a lot of different types of clients, but they are really good at doing what they're really good at doing. That's why they have you guys, is that they don't want to go and look for houses on the weekends or on the nights or whatever. Like you get a real estate agent because you guys are really good at what you do at helping them do it. It's kind of like they're outsourcing that part of their life to you, right? Well, our clients, it's the same thing for like what we're doing is they're just outsourcing this part of their life to make it easy for them. And so clothing in general, when you can streamline it, makes it easier for you guys too. Okay. A little bit about psychology of color. Blues. Do you guys know what blue equals? That's not what you want to wear first, or some sort of earth tone, but blue. Anybody know what it signifies? Come on, take a guess.
You're saying you want to wear that first?
What? Yeah, the color blue. What psychology?
Friendly.
Calm.
Yeah, calm, friendly, approachable. That's trust. Is basically what we're going with. When you're first time meeting with somebody, you want to try to show the most approachable, be the most like coming across as trustworthy. So that's typically the color that is the most approachable. So it helps people be able to be themselves, be open, be calm, all of those things. Dependable, that's like the color of dependability. Because like that guy's going to show up and he's going to be dependable. Like that's what it's.
Wranglers.
Wranglers. Black is authority. Like that's why it's the most formal color. It's like when you walk in, it's why a black tie event. That's like the most formal, most elegant. Black is typically reserved for social occasions. So think about it that way. So those are some of the colors. I am in an earth tone color, which kind of falls into the like blues area where it's going to be a little bit more approachable and not stand out as much and things like that. So, okay, so for your client in your different markets, it's important that you dress for your market, right? Dress for your audience. But also, no one's ever going to be, I don't think anybody's ever going to be overdressed. Really what it does is if you can project, that you care about that meeting with that person, then that's what you're doing with your dress, right? So if you're in a luxury market, you know, you're going to be a little bit more dressed up. You're going to be a little bit more polished. You're going to have your suits or higher end accessories, whatever you're meeting with that person. One of the things, and I don't want to call anybody out, but in the beginning of your business, I mean, we've had young partners come in and we sell obviously luxury clothing. And if they drive up to a client's house, and this is very similar to probably you guys, like a $2 million house or even a $500,000 house, and they're in like a busted Honda, that's not going to show across to that person, you know, like exactly what you can probably do. So maybe park a little further away. But that analogy is the same, okay? So like as you're growing, you know, and even when I couldn't afford a very nice car, which I've been driving Mini Cooper for almost 20 years, but different ones. But I always get the newest one. Even if you can't afford the nice one, make sure it's taken care of. It's the same thing. If you roll up, guys, and you know, to a client's house and they can't even like get in your car or like you're moving them around, like that's a very important piece of like them feeling comfortable with you. If you haven't if you are in something that you don't look like you have sold any houses in, then that's not going to give them the confidence to be able to do that, right? So I don't want to tell anybody out. And okay, so one of the things too, I think whenever somebody's asking me about clothing they should wear, I always ask them, like, what are you going to feel the most confident in? And I think that's a test you want to tell yourself or like ask yourself in the morning. If you're going to feel the most confident in something, like that's what you should go with if you're kind of in between, because whatever your most authentic self is going to come across and be more comfortable with that person and be able to have more confidence as you speak to them as well. So just making sure that you don't try to look like someone else. People will notice that if you're trying too hard. You just want to make sure that you're respectful to that person, but still be authentic to what you want. Because the reason they're coming to you is that you're a specialty in what you do. So they want your opinion, right? If you're, so make sure that you're being yourself in that. Okay. Some practical kind of tips for getting dressed in the morning. I always kind of like these as well. Plan, like I said, the night before. Keep your wardrobe organized and clutter-free. Like if you haven't worn something in a year, get that junk out of there. You're not going to wear it. Like stop judging yourself. It's just not. So the less stuff that you have in there, the more, I swear to you, your blood pressure will go down because you can see everything that you're about to get. If you have multiple closets, you don't probably need them. So just making sure that you have clutter-free environments helps stress go down and it helps you stay sharp. I mean, that's what we have to do. Like you guys are like prospecting machines, right? Like that's what you're supposed to be doing. So in order to make sure that you can remember who you're supposed to be calling and stay sharp and all of the details of all of the deals that you guys are working, you need to have your brain feel that way too. I do say always have go-to outfits. Make sure that if you're going to give a big presentation or whatever, this is my current favorite suit. So I wear it on days where it's really important to me to come in and feel good in it. So have those outfits that you can do that in. And it also, dressing, well, as I'm just closing out here, is a big investment in your own career too. So if you are, continuing to invest in what you're wearing, you're obviously going to be, I tell people this all the time. I'm just trying to keep your clothing at the same level as the rest of the things that you're investing in your life, right? So if your house is upgrading and your cars are upgrading, we should do the same thing for your clothing world. And it just stays consistent with everything that you're building. And then, a polished look overall definitely sets the tone for every interaction that you're going to go through in that appointment too. So just remember that the attitude that you have go through with your clothing as well is going to go again to everything that's going on with how you take care of the details and how you're going to take care of their business as well. Okay, that's what I have. So have you guys had any professional mishaps that you would like to discuss, or occasions where you're like, man, I should have done this differently, or what should I have worn in this? I always like to ask those because it's funny.
I sweat through all of my
I was gonna
shirts all the
say,
time.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna change.
Can you help me with that?
Well, there are some things, unfortunately, there's a very big push towards synthetic stretch fabrics, which people do all the time. Your row-back shirt right there is just like that. And synthetic actually is it's basically like taking a poncho and going out and running around in it. That's what a synthetic fiber is. So we teach people to have all natural fibers, which is what we deal with wools and cottons. So
sounds hot.
Well, you haven't met my wool. There's lightweight tropical wools. There's a lot of different fabrics that are at different levels, but you guys have heard merino wool, that is an all natural fiber, and it is cool in the summer and it's warm in the winter. So so that's some of it. Is what are you wearing? But also, you guys are on the go, just like I am. We're going to sweat, all the time. I mean, I'm going from appointment to appointment to appointment. But if you can put the odds in your favor, by getting fabrics that are a little bit more airy and light. And sometimes you sweat through them, but really nice cottons will actually dry like that too. So it'll quickly remedy itself. But synthetics will sit in it and then it'll smell, which is not good.
How does it work? Like, if I'm like, Sarah, I need your help. I need a new wardrobe. Like, whatever.
I come and measure you up and give you a new wardrobe.
I mean, like, do you meet like at our office, my house? Do you have an office to come to you? Like,
so our model is we come to you. So we work with only really busy people. So we are used to chasing you guys down. I go to home or office, whatever is easiest. Now real estate is interesting because you guys work by appointment too. Like how many times have you guys been here, this week? I don't know. Like probably not as many times because it's like the home office, but you're out seeing your clients and stuff. So if you guys need to meet somewhere else, that's fine. But we would make an appointment, basically. I would come to you and we would assess your closet and your needs. I'd ask you some questions, make sure I get to know you. And then show you our different collections, if we identify some things that you like. And I do show you the capsules because I think that is important. We usually start with shirts and pants or sport coats and pants or suits. It's like whatever, because we have different levels of what it looks like. And then I match up things that go with them and measure you. So, and then 6 to 8 weeks later, I come back and do the fitting. And then we have your fit down. And then it's just like point and click. Like, people will text me and be like, I need this. 6 more whites, whatever. Like, there's a whole lot of.
6 more white shirts.
You bring
Sometimes
clothes with you?
I brought all my fabrics, actually. But because we make everything custom, there's not like a storefront. It's not a retail. But I do have all my fabrics. And it is made to your measurements. So that's another big difference between what I do, in the stores. It's not like just having a personal shopper. It is kind of like that, but it's having a personal shopper made to your measurements. It's very one-on-one, like, experience because everybody is very different in their personal, preferences and stuff. And then I schedule to come back and we do your fitting. If there's any alterations, which there usually is on the first time order, because I'm just getting down your fit and your preferences because I take like 30 measurements and then create garments for you. So there's a little bit of that. But then once we get that down and you stay the same size,
no judgment.
Why'd you look at the pregnant lady?
I'm one of them too.
I will say I'm trying to get Abby and then cute explain there for all of life, but babies keep coming. And then if we have an in-house tailor that does any of our alterations that works specifically with us, and then we would make those adjustments on your clothing and then bring it back to you, and then it's built into your pattern. So then going forward, it's just like point and click. Mm-hmm. But first time appointment is usually no more than an hour to get all of that done. So it's not like a closet factory appointment where you're there for like 3 hours. No, our clients are way too busy. They just won't have patience for it.
So do you ever have anybody that kind of gives your services as a gift?
Yes. Actually, that's how Skylar got his first jacket. The pink one.
So would you just give somebody like a gift certificate or like?
We have the way that let me show you. This would have been the one time that
Did you tell Dean that's what you should get Dean for Christmas this year?
Based on the way you're dressed today, yes.
Could you tell?
This is what he got. The knowing knowledge of it. We actually have, this is kind of hard to see up there, but this is a gift box that we do. And it actually has their name printed in there on the label. So like all of our jackets come with like our own labels and stuff in them. And so you can do a gift box for them and it goes under the tree. It's kind of cute. And you can do the gift card for any amount. It's like $250. Any denominations of $250. Because obviously too, like we are a luxury product. So giving somebody $100 is going to be more like, ew, I have to pay for this. So that wouldn't work out. But the gift box is like, that was a weird idea. Or $1,000. So if you do $1,000, then, and it's great. And I actually have, for people that have teams, then, I have people that do top producers all the time. Like I have a relationship with with Mercedes, like the GM there, whoever sells the most cars, that month gets like a free suit And so they're like a student of the month club. And so, that kind of thing. It's not every month they'll go running around, but so he'll do that. Yeah, exactly. And the guys love it because he also wants his guys to be out of, not good clothing. So I come in and I'm like, look, we gotta help out here. And yeah. So I do that. So a lot of guys do that, and they'll call me and be like, hey, so-and-so won this month, go help them out. And so I'll go out. Some of them are clients already because they've won before, but other ones are just new to the whole thing, which helps them out too. And as far as like loan officers and stuff too, it's the same thing. Like we'll have like whoever like, wrote the most business that month, or whatever. Like we've had, brokers and stuff do that kind of thing. And like I work a bunch with United, John Finn over on the other side of the river. That's what I say. On the other side of the river. And he's done that before where he'll just get like his top the top producers that year. He'll reward them with it. So yes, I do.
But like the gift box usually says $1,000.
Yeah, just that gift box is $1,000. And
what is like somebody comes like people usually spend what $1,000, $2,000?
Our average transaction is like $2,800.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that get you?
That'll get you a suit, a sport coat, and some. I try to do it in outfits, so it's usually like our smallest package is $3,200, and that's a suit and sport coat and 4 shirts and accessories that go with it. Sport coat with the pant, so sport coat with the pant and a suit and the 4 shirts and.
What accessory? What is
jeans, shoes, belts.
Jeans are an accessory?
Yeah, it is in our world because it's not.
I wear jeans every day.
Well, you wear accessories every day.
You can strap your
Touche.
That's what I got. Gross karma. Yeah. So all the time, and a lot of times family does it. Oh my goodness, because I'll have the whole family, like the whole Cody family that has the 4 dealerships or whatever. Like he'll be like, okay, do this, and it becomes easy gifts for people because. They're like, what do they want? I mean, sure, you're all having this conversation right now with your family. Like, tell us what you want, love God, And I'm like, okay, well, if I know what they want, I write them, and it releases pressure from them too. I'm like, so-and-so picked this the last time, would you like it? Like, one of my partners at Kiter, I'm good friends, not good friends, I know his wife, and I was like, Vince picked this last time, but he didn't pull the trigger. I know he wants it, but he said, hint, hint, so then I'll write his wife. And she's like, yes, oh my gosh, Yeah, so it just becomes easy like that too. Mm-hmm. And we have custom-made jeans also, so for people that do wear jeans all the time. And they're phenomenal. But for my ladies, I always wanted to do that, like a little blazer and jeans for you, because I love our jeans. Once you go to that too, there's a difference between like nicer jeans and, cut in the grass jeans. I live in your neighborhoods, so I know that. I usually say dad jeans, but there can also be some pretty bad cut in grass jeans. Are we laughing because we know it's true inside, or I don't know. And so you can pair a nice pair of jeans, and actually these are nice, thank you, with a sport coat. You can pair nice jeans with a sport coat. You can't pair daddy jeans with
let's go back to the sweat thing for a second. I typically don't like wearing a button down anyways because I'm going to sweat my ass off. But like in the summer, like I can't imagine wearing a sport coat if it's over 75 degrees. Is that just my own problem, or what?
I think that is everyone sweats. Yeah. I do think so.
Just like thinner materials.
There are lighter materials. Yep. But I do think. I think people sweat. I'm an athlete. I've been sweating literally since I was born. So like I have always just sweat. So I'm just used to it, and I wear lighter weight fabrics. I actually lived in Atlanta for 8 years, and that was the worst because of the humidity that was there. And I just got used to, I finally came back to Virginia and got some seasonal clothing. But in Atlanta, I just wore lightweight stuff everywhere. So it's probably just, like I said, lighter weight stuff for you. And fabrics that you can move in. If you're uncomfortable in them too, you sweat more.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Those are things that don't fit you very well. If they're tight, they're going to be sweatier. So.
Are they talking about armpit sweat?
I'm talking about all sweat.
I think I McGuire Woods the other, like in the summertime, my whole shirt was sweaty. Yeah. So like I am with you. Like it's just. Yeah. I think it's just something you have to.
Programmed.
Yeah, exactly. But you can always button your coat.
Well, there's a treatment for armpit sweat.
Oh,
it's expensive.
Yeah, I might need to get that.
Your
Yeah, I've
good
been-
blue shirts.
I've been told about that multiple times.
Mirror drive.
But,
Your whites. Yeah.
any other questions that you guys have, or things that you've run into, or anything like that that I can help with?
She's gonna be coming out to our office.
What do you wear on your feet when it's raining like this?
I wear these. I have my heels in the car. I just waited for it to stop raining, and it just happened today. But cute little flats are totally acceptable. Don't have your pants dragging though if you are wearing flats. So, yeah. Yeah, so. But I like kitten heels. The great thing about the pandemic, guys, for all of my ladies that are over here since they're over there, kitten heels became a really big trend in luxury brands. It was forever that you could not get a luxury shoe. It's like a little, I actually have them in the car. I'm really sad about how I'm gonna for you because I would
I was wondering what kitten heel was.
You can feel like you're too. Then you go black instead.
I'm gonna put it
But I wear heels.
Yeah.
This
So
one-
if you can go to heels, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean heels. I mean for the longest time in like freaking Louis Vuitton or Christian Louis Vuitton, like you could not get anything that was not.
Can we do this? I'm gonna ask.
Ugh. And so for us, they're like on our feet all the time. But it became cooler to have the black heels and then also those. Yes, sir. You
Question.
go.
Nate is gonna stand up there. Could you tell us where
Oh,
the
no,
fit is?
that will be.
He's saying it's okay.
Okay, fine. Come on up.
We want to know where the fit's wrong.
Did he say it was okay?
Oh.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure.
What would you change?
What will we change on this right here?
Okay, good news. He's in a 2-button flat front. Okay, flat front pants. Guys, get out of pleats. There's no one in this room that needs pleats. If you have pleats right now, I'm calling you out.
I don't.
Good job.
I still do.
So don't wear them.
Don't wear them.
Actually, what's kind of crazy is the pandemic brought back some of the comfort that was out there. So high fashion. I know. Just keep shaking your head because it's gonna go away. It's a high fashion thing, I think. But for men in general, flat front pants. And actually, this leg looks great. So this is a really good suit. Yeah.
You've been working hard on the legs.
The knee in the bottom.
Months ago before he bought his new suits.
Yeah.
And so I will say this feels like a little big here.
It used to be a lot more swole.
So it used to be a lot more full. So if I was looking like if this would be a little bit more where it was like tapered in here. It's a little wide on the shoulders, so you can see like if it's like a sound effect, like it's a little off the shoulders. So it looks like that jacket was bought at a bigger size than it needed to be for you. I don't know if you got it before and you lost weight. Yeah, but the pants look great. Here's the thing that sucks in the stores is that most suits are nested, and what I mean by that is that you have to get a pant that's nested with a jacket, and if you have wide shoulders and a small waist, you're kind of screwed, which is most athletes or anybody that takes care of themselves or anything. What are you looking at? Huh? Okay, rude. I'm not a retail, but people.
I just put some.
Yeah. But and also here's another thing. Okay, don't step back a little bit. The other thing is this jacket is a little long. So for his build, he looks actually underneath there is a good build. I feel like. If I miss this, I always have to say build. I could never say like look at it. So you're just not taking full advantage of what you could do to have be a little bit more fitted.
Show it off, Nate.
Yeah.
So I work with Nicole. Don't tell her I had this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she'll probably reprimand me.
By the way, it feels like a seersucker.
It
suit.
it's like gym pants.
Yeah. So I was actually going to say, like, if you were thinking about like fabric, seersuckers are nice and light. But overall, it's really good. The jacket just seems like it was like a little bit big. So
God, that just goes to show.
I don't know about the shirt either. So
Good job, Nate.
Synthetic kind of, yeah.
well, the biggest
Same brand.
biggest problem guys have down there is like so much room here, and that's one of the biggest benefits of custom shirts. Once you go to custom shirts, you really don't go back
I feel like
because
that's where you get your movement. My biggest thing with jackets is you can't, for me,
well, you're a very different build. So
Very. That's a big me.
me on that.
I'm a very different build than you. So there's just different builds.
Good job, Nate.
Thank you.
Good job, thank
Arms
you.
can't go past here.
And by the way, he's got a cool button on there, which is underneath on the shirts. We're doing a lot of that, like open collar now
That's
too.
buttons.
You know, you can do that kind of stuff. That's not quite serious. The collar looks good. That's a good medium spread collar. All of that. And the tie's not too busy for the suit. So, like, that's a good.
Great job, Nate. You thought it was gonna be way worse.
He's the
And
last
also,
body,
Nate
but-
is the kind of, because you got like silver fox, black and white hair, salt and
Oh,
pepper.
yeah.
Saying.
Yo, baby.
So he looks great in the gray. That was just what I was gonna say. As far as like color schemes go, that is a
What if you were bald?
If you're bald,
He used to be bald. That's why.
blue. When all else
You wear a lot
fails,
more
blue.
You did
Look
wear
at
a lot
that.
of blue.
I do.
Actually, I feel like I saw you one time when you were like, when I was doing something for somebody here, and I was like, who's that guy? And then, you were Nicole.
Blinded by the reflection of the
Polished that morning.
The man bun is a big deal right now, so, you know. But blue, all else fails, blue. Like, you can't, like, literally, I do like 50 shades of blue all the time for people.
Do you tell people, hey, don't wear this color?
Yes.
Okay.
Like gingers, redheads. Sorry.
She's like,
I heard
like, gingers don't wear that.
Like things that are gonna wash you out like a little bit more are rough, but like the jewel tones, like the Kelly greens, I will put you in green all day. You know, like a bright green, and things like that. But like a red is not gonna be super great on her ginger.
Oh, that makes me sad.
You're kind of like an Addison from Grey's Anatomy red. You're not like a really pale red.
That's because I had makeup on.
Oh, well, good
Thank
job.
you.
You guys know Addison from Grey's Anatomy, right?
Yeah.
That's the most beautiful redhead alive.
So
Okay,
pretty.
just making sure. Compliment. Okay. Anything else?
This is awesome. Yeah. This is
Are you
entertaining.
setting up a booth tomorrow night and just
You're,
judging
no,
everyone
you,
that comes
you're
in?
going to be at my house before Christmas. We're doing it. I can't wait.
Oh, glad I done.
Oh, yeah.
Team gifts?
This is Benjamin
I was just like, can I come on that?
gift. Benjamin only.
I do like Ben's. My son's name is Ben, so Benjamin's. It was funny. Skylar yesterday called you Benjamin. I was like, do you go by Ben or Benjamin? Because I call my son Ben, but also Benjamin.
Well, Skylar used to call him Ben until he met me. That's Benjamin. So.
Because you guys are both first. That's right.
It's like if you, like,
Anyway.
Yeah. Right.
like elementary school Benjamin, like professional Ben, unless once you have, you know me for like 5 or 10 years, you get to Benjamin.
Can't wait till I upgrade you. But
I just got to get on my first deal.
but definitely not Benji, right?
Ooh.
I know my son.
Rodney calls me Benji.
Ooh, Ronnie.
Okay. It's the only one authorized to do that.
My husband's from New Jersey, so Ben gets Benny before he'll get. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But not Benji. Don't do that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We really
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.